YouTube and welcome back to another lens review here on my channel. Finally, as announced, with the Samyang 135 f1.8. This whole video took me a little bit longer, sorry for that. I had much going on the last weeks, but finally, as you can see, I managed to upload it. Before we start into the review, I want to say a few words, and first of all, I want to say thank you. The second video that I uploaded, the 50mm 1.4 of Samyang, is about to reach 3,000 views, which is way more than I expected to get. And also, we got quite a few new subscribers. We are on around 70 subscribers now, which it really makes me happy to see that people are actually watching the video and that people like the videos that I make, because they are much fun to make, so thank you for that. I also got a comment that it would be helpful if I could upload RAW files with the lenses that I review, so that you can just put them into Lightroom and check for yourself the image quality. So I will do this time again, so you can just click the link below and download the pictures and then just check the image quality for yourself. With that being said, I'd say we just jump straight into the review. So, as usual, this is not going to be some in-depth technical review. This is more about my practical work with the lens. What do I like about it? What do I not like about it, maybe? And just how is the daily experience with this lens? I'm gonna start with the basic stuff. So, what's in the box? First of all, the box itself. Whoop. Same as we know from the other lenses. It's a little bit larger, of course, because the lens itself is larger. Then we got the little bag again, so you can carry around your lens, which I don't really use, as we all know. And then we got the lens hood. The lens hood is a little bit different from the ones that we already know from the other lenses. It's the same material up here, but when you get to the front, you got this rubbery finish here. To be honest, I don't know if this has any technical reason, or I would assume it's just for optics, for the look. As you can already see, if you put it on here, the lens is quite large, but I mean, it's a 135 with an open aperture of f1.8. So to compare it, for example, here's the we got the 50mm. If you put them next to each other, I mean, it's quite a difference. I mean, of course, it's the one is 135 and the other one is 50mm, but just so you can see them side by side and check the size difference. So let's put this away. Material-wise, we have the same material here as well. This compound material that I talked about in the previous two videos. We have the same focus ring with this rubbery finish, which feels really good. You got a really good grip on it. It's broad enough as well, so you can grip it really fine. The lens cap works great as usual, fits perfectly. And then when we come to the switches, there's a slightly difference here compared to the other one. So you got the custom button again, and then the mode switch. These two you can actually change the settings on the Samyang lens station, as I said before, so you can put different functions on here. So in mode 1, this is by standard the manual focus if you turn the ring, and then if you put it on mode 2, you change the aperture with the ring. And then there is actually a new switch, or another switch on this lens, and it's a focus limiter. So you can put it on full focus, then the lens focuses the whole distance that it can, and then you can put it on close-up focus, which is from the minimum focus distance of 0.69 meters to 2 meters, I think. Let me check. Yes. And then you got the far-away focus, let's call it, where the lens then focuses from 1.5 meters to infinity. I'm, to be honest, not using it much, or not at all, because usually if I focus, if I take portraits of a person or something, then the distance is always kind of the same. So I'm not suddenly taking pictures of a person who's standing 10 meters away, and then suddenly I take pictures of a close-up subject like a meter away. So I'm not really using it, but for some people it might be really handy. What I also want to talk about briefly is about the focal length itself. So 135mm, who should get one? Or who can benefit from it, because it is really a special focal length. And to be honest, this lens is not really versatile. We really have to say it like that, because inside you're not going to use it much inside. It's just the focal length is too long for that. Maybe for close-up portrait photography, but you could also just use the 85mm lens for that. So you're going to use it mainly outside, and it has its limits when it comes to versatility. So you can do perfectly fine. You can do street photography with it. You can do portraits with it. So what I want to tell you is that if you're planning, for example, to get your first prime lens, if you just bought a camera and you got the kit lens, which usually is totally fine for the beginning, but if you want to step up your game a little, and especially if you want to do portraits and you want to have this bokeh background and this blurry background, you don't need a prime lens, but you need a lens with a fast aperture. And a prime lens usually is just a little cheaper, especially a 50mm, for example. 50mm 1.8 are great lenses you can buy there. So if you want to get your first prime lens, I would absolutely not recommend getting this one, because you can just not use it like as an everyday lens. It produces really special, unique pictures, but it also is only usable in special and unique situations. So if you already have a 50mm, for example, and you are looking for a great portrait lens, and you maybe don't want to get the 85mm, then I would absolutely recommend it. It's a great lens. It's a great focal length, let's put it that way first. But yeah, if it's your first prime lens, go get a 50mm first, or if you are more into landscape photography, get a 35, or maybe better, an even wider lens, 24 18mm. I'm filming actually on the Samyang 80mm f2.8, by the way, which is great for landscape or for vlogging or for videos for YouTube. And it's actually, I bought it for 250 euro, I think. So as you can see, I got 4 Samyang prime lenses. I'm quite a Samyang fanboy at the moment. So keep in mind, it's a special focal length, and it's not for every day and for every situation. Alright, what else do we have? I'm just going to talk really briefly about the technical specs here, and then when we come to the competitors, we're going to talk about the price and the weight. So we've got an 82mm filter in here, or you can put 82mm filters in here, let's say it like that. The closest focus distance, as we said, is 0.69 meters, which is really great. So you can take these, as I said in the video before with the 85mm, I love to take these semi-macro shots. They just look so unreal sometimes, and it's just fascinating, and this lens is just perfectly made for that. The aperture goes from f1.8 obviously all the way, let me just put this down a little, whoop, all the way up to f22. The lens is weather sealed, so you can use it in wet conditions. Of course, wet conditions does not mean you can or you should use it when it's raining cats and dogs, or you should put it underwater or something. Some people confuse that. It is for light to mid-heavy rain, I would say. It shouldn't be a problem. You can also use it for, or in dusty conditions, it's dust sealed then as well. But I would not recommend using it on the beach every day. And if you do, please make sure you take care of it and then you clean it afterwards properly, not just rubbing with the towel in front of the lens with still grain on it, and then you get scratches, and that's not what you want to do. Yes, it's weather sealed, so you can use it in harsh conditions. And with that being said, I would say we're gonna check for the competitors. Alright, so let's talk about the main competitors to this lens for a second. And in my opinion, the main competitors to this lens are the Sony 135 f1.8 G Master and the Sigma 135 f1.8. I have to say I do not own any of the other two lenses, so I cannot compare them in image quality. I can show you the image quality of this lens and how good it is, and I can talk about the most important factors for me beside the image quality. And for me, the most important factors of a lens beside the image quality are the price. I'm absolutely not willing to spend a fortune on a single lens. The weight, which is really important for me. I just don't like it if there's so much weight on my camera body and it just doesn't feel right. And the third thing, and that is not to be underestimated, is the fun factor, I would call it. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, you want to go out and shoot and you want to have fun doing it. There's absolutely no way or no reason to go out with a super expensive lens that produces great images, but you just don't feel it. Like you just don't enjoy shooting with it. So this is really important for me. Of course, it's a little bit subjective. Everybody has different preferences. But I think this is really important and shouldn't be underestimated. That's because there are so many people still using vintage lenses. They do not produce any good pictures in case of image quality. They are not really sharp compared to modern lenses. Yet the images they produce in total can be absolutely great and people absolutely enjoy shooting with it. So this is really important as well. Keep that in mind, please. Yeah, so let's start talking about the price. This one comes in at 849 euro at the moment in Germany. I am pretty sure you can get it cheaper if you wait a little longer, but anyway, that's the price at the moment. The next one would be the Sigma 135 f1.8 with 1298 euro right now. And then the most expensive ones of these, which was to be expected, I guess, is the Sony G-Master with 1549 euro. So it is quite a difference compared to 850 euro really. Talking about the weight, this one weighs 772 grams. Careful without the lens hood. This one has another additional 90 grams. So you have to add that if you are using it regularly. The next one will be the Sony with what we have 950 grams, so about a kilo. And then the heaviest one, which was to be expected, I guess, is the Sigma with 1130 grams. I think it's still fine for a 135, comparing it to, which one was this heavy lens of Sigma? It was a kilo of the 50mm. It was almost a kilo for a 50mm, and now the 135mm weighs just a little above 1 kilo. So I think that's still fine, but it's still way heavier than this one. I don't know why Sigma always builds these heavy lenses. I owned the Sigma 24-70 f2.8, the standard zoom, and I actually sold it because for me it was too heavy, too bulky. It was great in terms of image quality, great in terms of autofocus, but what I didn't feel was the fun factor with the lens. So that's why I sold it. And that's why I have the Samyang lenses at the moment, because for me the fun factor on these lenses, it's just great. I just enjoy shooting with them. Anyway, so Samyang did it again here, to put it that way. Compared to the main competitors, it is cheaper and it is way lighter. And as we're gonna see in the next chapters, that does not mean that it can't produce any good pictures or that it's not sharp or that it's cheap or anything. So I would say let's move on to the image quality. Alright, so in order to show you the image quality and the sharpness of this lens, we just hopped into the Lightroom again and I took some pictures here. One, as you can see, of my wife while we were out for a little walk, and then the 3 others are just simple portraits of mine. So you can also see the performance in a studio environment, just a simple setup with a single flash and a plain black background. As you can see, you can actually see the softbox up here. So you see they are completely unedited, just straight out of camera. And first thing I want to talk about here is actually the colors. I really love the rendering of this lens. I mean the colors of the lips here and the eyes also. I think they look pretty amazing. Yeah, I really like them. And you can see here with an aperture of f1.8, you can also see why this is an awesome portrait lens. Like you got a really smooth transition here from the tech sharp eye to the ear that's already out of focus, and I really love the transition here. It looks great, I think. Just talking about the sharpness briefly, I mean, there's just, again, nothing to complain about. I think it's even a little bit sharper than the f50 and the f50, right? Than the 50mm and the 85mm. If we zoom in here on the eyes, I mean, we can zoom in on 200%. Keep in mind that I'm taking these pictures on the Sony A7 IV, which only has 33 megapixels. So it would be even more sharp if you, for example, had the, I don't know, the Sony A7R5 or something with 60 megapixels and above. But I mean, check this out. You can see here, right? You can actually see a house here in our eye. You can even see as small black dots the window frames of this house. You can see every single tree here in the reflection. And I mean, how much sharper would you want a lens? Or how could a lens even be any sharper, really? Same here. I mean, of course, you can see the reflection, the catch light of the softbox with the shadows of my eyelashes here. But then you can also see the reflection of the window that's in front of me. So actually, next time I should darken that. And then you can even see bushes and stuff that's behind the window, like outside. That's just, I mean, it's crazy, really. This is 100%, and it's just absolutely sharp. I took a few pictures with the aperture of 2.2, but I think there is pretty much no difference. At least I would not know how a lens could be any sharper than this, really. I mean, maybe the Sony G-Master, I don't want to say anything wrong here, but I would not know how it should be sharper than this. So for me, this is just, it's pretty high end. As you can see up here, before I took the pictures, I styled my hair a little, and you can see actually that the hairspray wasn't dry at that point, right? You see these little drops here on my hair. So that's pretty crazy, really. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, it's perfectly fine. Absolutely nothing to complain here. Great sharpness, great colors, great transition to from sharpness to blurred out. I will also upload these pictures so you can put them into Lightroom and then judge by yourself. But I think it can't get much better than this, really. All right, so I also want to talk about the bokeh briefly, and I want to keep it short here because there's really not much to say about. As you can see here in this sample picture, for me this bokeh is pretty much perfect, really. In the center you got really completely round bokeh balls. You have no signs of onion rings whatsoever. It's completely clean, in my opinion. Of course, to the edges, they're not that round anymore, but that's, well, I wouldn't call it a problem, but that's something that all the lenses have and show. So this is nothing special, really. And even in the upper corner here, they're still completely round. And in real life pictures, like in this one, this is the great thing about a 135 with an f1.8 aperture. I mean, look at the distance here that is between the subject and me. And even though it's a full body portrait, pretty much, even with a horse on it, and plenty of room next to the subject, we still get this nice, creamy, blurry background. And you can also see down here, this is all outside the focus area, and this is pretty much only doable with such a lens, really, at least to that extent. So yeah, nothing much to say about the bokeh. For me, it's pretty much perfect. So as you can see here with the autofocus, it's really quick, it's accurate, and unlike with the 50 and the 85mm, I did not experience any issues with people wearing glasses so that the focus would miss and hit the glasses instead of the iris. So the autofocus for me really is almost perfect. It could be a little bit quicker here and then, but that's really complaining at a high level. It was absolutely accurate, and I had very, very little pictures with a missed focus. Yeah, so hopefully you can see me. It is pretty bright today, and I have to improvise a little bit. The camera is actually a little bit low, so I have to go down a bit. But it's not easy to put it into the trees with this little tripod. It's quite heavy, the lens, to be honest. So it's, yeah, I really hope it doesn't fall down. Anyway, the good thing is, this time, because it's so bright, I did not forget my ND filter. So I got a 64 ND filter on the lens at the moment, which I'm going to go back a little bit further, which actually reduces the light that's coming into the lens. Otherwise I would not be able to film with an aperture of 1.8. However, the bad thing is I forgot the microphone. So I'm at the moment recording with the in-camera microphone. I really hope that you can hear me. It's beautiful weather today. Finally some sun again. We had so much rain and cloudy days last time that I already feel like my mood is going up just because there's some sun out now. So I brought the lens and thought we would just check out the video capabilities again of this lens to get an idea about the autofocus and the bokeh in the background. So I will just keep it short here. These trees everywhere. Keep it short here and just move out of the frame a little bit and get closer and get further away so you get an idea. And I won't talk too much because I am pretty sure that the sound is going to be terrible. But and it's basically the same as with the 50mm last time. The transition looks really smooth from here. It's hard to see anything for me because it's so bright today. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the lens and try to get some nice street photography style pictures in the city. I hope there are some people out there, that there's some snow, and yeah, see you next time. Finally, conclusion. The Samyang 135 f1.8. For me, an absolutely great lens. 135, as mentioned before, is a unique, a special focal length that is not really usable in like as an ever-on lens. But talking about the lens itself, I would absolutely recommend it. If you want to get a 135mm with a fast aperture, just buy this one, really. It is cheaper than its competitors, it is lighter than its competitors, and the image quality is incredible. It's just tech sharp, the autofocus is quick, accurate and silent. Yeah, as mentioned, the weight is great with 772 grams. You can use it all day long without getting a tired arm. The price is absolutely fair for such a lens. It's really good. So all in all, I would absolutely recommend it. So if you liked the video, if it was helpful for you, if I answered you some questions about this lens, let me know, leave me a comment, leave me a like, leave me a subscription if you like. Let me know what you think and what I can do better. Of course, I'm always trying to improve. With that being said, we're gonna see each other in the next video. Take care.